and you can see the aircraft now running in from our right. It comes to us from the Lightning Force based at RAF Marham in Norfolk, specifically from number 207 Squadron, and it's the Lockheed Martin F-35B Lightning.
Bye.
This is, of course, the so-called short takeoff vertical landing version of the F-35, which is also produced in the A model, the conventional takeoff and landing aircraft. That's the one that, for example, operates from RAF Heath with the US Air Force's 48th Fighter Wing. And there's the US Navy's C model, the carrier variant. It was back in 2015 that the intention to buy 138 Lightnings for use by both the RAF and the Royal Navy was confirmed, with their main operating base to be at Marham. We see the aircraft now coming back in towards display centre, pitching into a turn. Yes, as I was saying, we saw the under fuselage weapons bay doors open there, but we're shortly to see a demonstration of what's really at the heart of the B model Lightning, which is the Rolls-Royce lift system. Fully 29,000 shaft horsepower are transferred from the main Pratt & Whitney F135 engine to the lift fan via a drive shaft and a clutch, and a thrust vectoring nozzle at the rear moves to provide propulsion for forward lift or flight, while the lift fan, which is just after the cockpit section, is used in vertical flight. And each wing contains a roll post nozzle for roll control and to maintain lateral stability using bypass air from the engine. The aircraft in extremely slow high alpha, high altitude capacity. Now, while the F-35 can't land here at Duxford, it is able to perform a low, slow approach. Were the aircraft able to touch down, what we you'd see it would be a rolling vertical landing, and that's the sort of landing that the aircraft would use at, say, an expeditionary site in the field, or flying from a short or damaged runway, where minimising the stopping distance is the priority, and the stopping distance can be as short as just 1,200 feet. Conversion unit for the Lightning followed in July 2019, and the latest operational squadron on type is the first Royal Navy Squadron, 809 Naval Air Squadron, which reformed in December of last year. F-35 squadrons are joint RAF Royal Navy in nature, and the commanding officer and the senior pilot alternate between the services. And earlier this year, there was something of a milestone when the first mission was flown by entirely 809 Naval Air Squadron personnel. And it's very appropriate to see the Royal Navy represented through this aircraft in our display today, because of the contribution made during the Battle of Britain by both Fleet Air Arm squadrons and Fleet Air Arm pilots assigned to the RAF. The F-35B, as far as its carrier operations with the Royal Navy are concerned, began trials aboard HMS Queen Elizabeth in 2018 and 19, and operational aircraft from number 617 Squadron worked from the ship for the first time in June 2020, making their first carrier strike group deployment with the new carrier the following year. And now this is where it starts to get very busy indeed, as the F-35B The intended British fleet of F-35 has been scaled back a bit from those initial intentions to buy to 138 of them. Full operational capability is due in 2025 when the 48th aircraft will be delivered, although further procurements are possible. This is, of course, an aircraft whose capabilities are evolving all the time. They've been flying long-range missions as part of the response to the conflict in Ukraine, and number 617 Squadron deployed aircraft on the Icelandic air policing mission for NATO earlier this year for the first time.